Hi, I'm Steph, and today we are reviewing one of my all-time favorite albums and CDs, Out of the Blue by Electric Light Orchestra. I am so excited about this one. This might be truly my favorite album of all time. I love it so much. It is so fantastic. Every time I listen to it, I am just again blown away. And this album came out on October 24th, 1977, and it is produced and written by the band's frontman, Jeff Lynne, and the orchestra and choir arrangements are by Jeff Lynne, Richard Tandy, and Louise Clark. And that is pretty much it. It's seriously one of the best albums ever. There is one other producer on one other song that has a credit, and that is Bob Irwin on the song It's Over. That's track 2. But it's a pretty small group of people who created this album, and I think that is so cool. I love how just all this art can come from like one person's brain or a couple people's brain. I think that's just the coolest. And so let's get into our CD here first. When you open it up, you have the track listing here and the CD here. This kind of CD style is pretty classic for that time. Like, I think doing really cool prints and artwork on CDs themselves seems to be a newer thing, but just like the silver CD with the black lettering is pretty appropriate for that time. This was originally a 4-record vinyl set, and we'll talk a bit more about that later because there are some songs that kind of play into that, and I think that's cool. So we have this from the front with their very well-known spaceship. If you're familiar with the band at all, this is a big thing for them. And then I love the middle. This is the same graphic that is on the center of their gatefold vinyl. When you open it up, it is the same. So I do like that that's in here, but I am sad there's not like a breakdown of every song, lyrics and everything, but I think since there's only that one co-producer on the song It's Over and the rest is just Jeff Lynne, it's like you don't really need to read his name over and over and over again. You know he's the guy and the master. So there are 17 tracks on this album, and I think every single one of them is so important to the flow and musicality of the album. This album, I love it so much because when you listen to it, it is clearly all connected. You don't want to just listen to part of this album. You want to listen to the full story. You want to hear the whole cinematic universe that is being created, and it is so beautifully done. The first song on this album is called Turn to Stone. It's a fantastic song, such a great melody. It really kicks off the album with an up-tempo song and just pulls you in right away, and I think it is such a great track. I will also say that Turn to Stone is radio friendly, which not all the songs on this album really are, which is something I love about this album so much. I mean, I would love to hear them on the radio, but you know, that's a whole other thing, what people actually will play on the radio and what they won't. So yeah, that's Turn to Stone. That's our first song. And the second song, It's Over, that's the one with the co-producer, Bob Irwin. That is also a pretty radio-friendly song. It's very, again, up-tempo. It keeps moving, good melody, and it's a really fun song. I love it. I mean, this whole album, listening to it, is just such a joy. And these first couple songs are such a joy to listen to over and over and over again. Truly never gets old. I do want to note that the end of this song, It's Over, it does fade out with some pretty dramatic strings. So there's just like some sprinkles kind of the thick of this album in the end of that song there that I think is really neat. The next song we have is Sweet Talkin' Woman. The strings in the beginning of this song just make you want to dance immediately. It is so beautiful, such a fun melody, and just absolutely intoxicating. He is so good about doing that with music. It's absolutely unreal. I love Sweet Talkin' Woman. Fantastic song. Sweet Talkin' Woman is also another radio playable song. So the album starts out with some pretty radio playable tracks. That doesn't mean they're less good than the other tracks. They're just more classic to what you would normally hear on a radio as far as tempo and the time length of the song. The first song is 3 minutes 47 seconds. It's Over is 4 minutes 8 seconds. Sweet Talkin' Woman is 3 minutes 48 seconds. That's pretty normal for a song to be on the radio and be that length. And there's no like crazy break of just strings anywhere really in these songs. There's obviously lots of strings in them, but it's not like some of the songs we'll get to later, which, yeah, so I just wanted to note that. So those are the first three. Across the Border is the next song, and to me, this is where the album really shifts and changes. Like I said, the first three tracks are pretty radio playable. This track starts with train sounds, like out of train station, and then fades into the music, and it's a bit more cinematic and dramatic, and I love that. So to me, this really is like kind of the switch of the album where it starts to really get into what Jeff Lynne does best. And this is such a fantastic song. I love listening to it. We will hear more train sounds later, so I think it's nice to note that this is the first time that we hear them in the album. Night in the City is the next track. I absolutely love this song. I'm gonna say that for every song on this album. I have a couple actual favorites, but truly every song on this album is so good. This is just a phenomenal album. I can't say that enough times. It's probably going to be a really annoying video. But Night in the City starts with more, I don't know if they're car noises and train noises at the beginning, or maybe one or the other, I'm not sure, but there are some like bustling city motor noises happening at the beginning of this song. And I also want to note the title, Night in the City, because we're going to kind of come back to that again later. This album it's really all connected. Everything was put in here with purpose, and I think that is such a cool thing to do with an album. There's kind of two kinds of, I'm sure there's more than two, but there's a couple different kinds of albums that you can make. You can make an album where you're telling, you know, a connected story where everything flows into each other, or you can make an album where it's just like really good song, different really good song, different really good song, and they can still flow sonically, but they're not necessarily connected. And those are both great ways to make an album, but I do think, for me personally, I absolutely love when everything is just wholeheartedly connected and there is just a string that flows through every single one of these songs, and I absolutely love that about this album. The next song is Starlight, which sounds exactly like the title. If you've ever seen a shooting star, this song just is that, and he is so good at making those like spacey, galaxy-esque noises and sounds, and musically this is just an absolutely beautiful track. I love it so much. The song is Jungle, which is, if I can have a top three for this album, I'm gonna put Jungle in my top three. I love Jungle. Again, the song sounds like the title. I think a lot of this song might be nonsense. The words are, like, if you read the lyrics, you're like, huh? But it's the sound of this song is just all consuming, and it to me just feels like pure joy, and he had captured that so well. I absolutely love this song. It makes me dance. Like, I can't listen to this and not dance around. It is just, it's a smile in a song. I absolutely love Jungle. And so if you need a pick me up and you don't have time to listen to this entire album, just go put on Jungle, and I hope you'll have a great time. It's a great song. I do want to note there's an alarm clock sound, like a ringing that goes off at the end of this song. I'm wondering, like, was it a dream? Is that the alarm clock waking someone up from a dream? Because the song is a little bit of nonsense. And I don't know. So I just thought that was interesting to note. And I've never talked about this album with anyone else, so I've never really gotten any other input. So maybe there's some like very clear symbolism that I am missing, but to me, I think maybe it's an alarm clock, and I think you're waking up from a dream at the end. Believe Me Now is the next song on the album. This is a short one. It feels like more of an interlude. It's just some really dramatic, intense strings, and I think it adds such volume to the album, and I love its placement in the album as well. Because like I said, Jungle is just this like big, joyous, chaotic track, and then you go into these intense strings, and it's a really beautiful transition. I'm such a big fan. As far as transition goes, the next song, Steppin' Out, is, I feel, one of the biggest transitional songs on the album. I think Believe Me Now kind of sets up and sets the tone for Stepping Out, bringing back in that cinematic, dramatic strings and moving away for a moment from those really joyous strings that we have in Jungle. Stepping Out, I want to note that in the song, kind of near the end, he says, "Clouds are gathering." And that's going to be important for our next song, which is Standing in the Rain. And in Steppin' Out, that's the title. Believe it or not, in the song, he says, "I'm stepping out." And so it's like, I'm stepping out, clouds are gathering. And again, it's just all connected in such a beautiful way, because then you go to the next song, Standing in the Rain, and it opens with light rain noises that then slowly turn into a thunderstorm. And it's just extremely cinematic. I love when, I think I've mentioned this before about artists adding rain sounds into the track. I love when they do that. I think there's just something about rain that humans love, and it's a beautiful thing, and it represents more of like a sad, melancholy tone, but it's nice to have the world be sad and melancholy sometimes when you are feeling sad and melancholy. And so I just love when artists add other noises. Rain specifically is one of my favorites. And yeah, so that's Standing in the Rain. Again, we go from a light rain to a thunderstorm in this track. In the previous track, Stepping Out, we're mentioning that the clouds are gathering. It's all connected. So beautiful. All right, Big Wheels Turn is the next song, and I'm gonna put this in my top 3 as well. I love Big Wheels Turn so much. It is a seamless transition from Standing in the Rain, and I'm just gonna read some of the lyrics to just pull you into this connectivity that is happening in this album at this point. Out here in the pouring rain, through cold, dark, waiting days, I see you standing there. I mean, it's just art, and I love it. Summer and Lightning is our next track, again continuing on with our thunderstorm that we have happening. I love this one so much, and I just want to read some of the lyrics from it. "What can I do? The sun ain't shining. out there, so far away, up above, the sky will say, for you, only for you. Here it comes again. It's all around me. It must be magic. And then at the end of the song, the rain sounds fade out. Can you guess what's coming next? Mr. Blue Sky, our next song on the album. The sun is coming out, and lyric from this song, the sun is shining in the sky, there ain't a cloud in sight. Our storm has passed, we have made it through the rain. And this is another great radio one, but also it's still incredibly cinematic. I think this is obviously something that he is really good at, is pushing the limits of radio, because this song is on the radio to this day all the time, because it is such a fantastic song. You can't not love it. But it's not short. Mr. Blue Sky is a 5-minute song, and it is extremely cinematic. There are long orchestral breaks, and I think it is just really a testament to his songwriting and producing, that he can make so many people fall in love with a song like this. A lot of people aren't sticking around for a 5-minute song, but you hear Mr. Blue Sky on the radio, you're sticking around. And I read in an interview that he did with a magazine a while back, and they were asking him about the inspiration for this song. He said he was staying in the Swiss Alps, and he was there for while he was there for 3 days, it was snowing. Just this huge snowstorm, wouldn't stop, didn't see the sun for 3 days. And then on the 4th day, he came outside and the sun was shining, and he wrote this song. And it sounds exactly like that. It is so gorgeous. It's just this like, oh my God, finally it's here. Like the sun is shining again. And it's such a beautiful feeling that never gets old. You know, it rains for 2-3 days and you're like, miss the sun. And then it comes out and you're just like, oh my God, like you feel rejuvenated, you feel reborn. It's just a fact of nature. The sun shining on your skin feels amazing. And yeah, this song is about that. I love the long fade out of this song, and I do want to note in the bridge he says, but soon comes Mr. Night. So we're gonna keep flowing on our transitions into our next song, which is called Sweet is the Night. So we just said soon comes Mr. Night. Now the next song is Sweet is the Night. I mean, if you listen to one song on this album, you have to listen to the next one because they are just all connected. It's so fantastic. And Sweet is the Night is really, really beautiful song. I love the melody of this song so much. It's not in my top 3, but it's really close. In this song, I want to mention that he mentions the city. So, Sweet is the Night, we're in nighttime, and he's talking about the city. What song did we have earlier? Night in the City. And I love that. It's a small detail, but it's purposeful, and it just makes this album more beautiful. It's just things like that he does continuously throughout this album are just so cool to me. Everything is connected. I also forgot to mention at the end of Mr. Blue Sky, he says in like a auto-tuned distorted voice, turn me over. And Mr. Blue Sky is the end of the A side of one of the records. Like I said, there's 4 actual records in the original set, and you flip it after Mr. Blue Sky, and at the end of the song he says turn me over, and I think that's cool. There's 4 sides that you can play on the vinyl, not 4 actual discs. It's 2 discs, 4 sides total, so you have 2 flips. The next song is called The Whale. I love this one. Shocking. It just sounds beautiful. To me, it sounds like traveling through space and very cinematic, very important. I really love this one. Birmingham Blues is the next track. It's a nod to where he's from, Birmingham, England, and he talks of a lot of travel in this song, lots of different places, and I think that's very appropriate for this album as we have been taken on such a journey. I feel like we've traveled through space and all over the world. We've been to the city, we've been in the thunderstorms. I think this song is very appropriate. Sonically, it sounds a bit different, but I feel like the themes of travel and going to different places still make it such a part of this album. Wild West Hero is the album closer and the third song in my 3 favorites on this album. This song is arguably one of my favorite songs of all time. It's definitely in my top 10. I love this song so much. The first couple listens on the album, I didn't. It has kind of an abrupt change in tempo and sound a couple times throughout the song, and upon my first couple listens, I did not like that, but I don't know what happened. I love it now. It's just really beautiful. It's kind of building up to this, in my opinion, the whole song is building up to this one orchestral run near the end of the song. And you build up to it, and then it cuts to this like Western honky-tonk-esque bit in the song. And then it goes back to the orchestra stuff. And then it goes back to the honky-tonky stuff. And then it goes back to the orchestra stuff. And it's going to the honky-tonk right before it like finishes this just sounds that you want to hear them. You don't know what you want to hear yet, but you know you want to hear a bit more. And it keeps putting in the honky-tonky, and near the end of the song, when they just give you that full orchestral run, it truly gives me chills every single time I listen to it. It's a slow build, and the reward is so high, and I love everything about that. It's really beautiful. That is my favorite part of the song, and it's just awesome. It's a little over 4.5 minutes, this song, and I think it's such a great album closer. It's just so beautiful, and the concept of the song, Wild West Hero, who doesn't want to be a Wild West hero? It's such a wholesome thing that is so relatable to so many people, and I think that's what Jeff Lynne does best, is he takes this wholesome little idea that so many people have, and just such a simple thing, and makes it this just orchestral masterpiece that is phenomenal to enjoy. And this song is just the epitome of that to me. I think it is some of his best work. I love it so much. I could talk endlessly about this song. It's just, music doesn't have to be a complicated idea. It can just be a simple thing, like, I wish I was a Wild West hero. And then you just make this whole just masterpiece about it, and it's so beautiful, and it's so relatable, even though it's a thing that like people aren't Wild West heroes. Those aren't people walking around, but it's so relatable to so many people, because who wouldn't want to be that? And it's just a really beautiful song. I love it so much, and I think it is a great album closer. That wraps up our album, Out of the Blue by Electric Light Orchestra. One of the best albums of all time. I will die on that hill. I don't think anyone would argue me though. After you listen to this, I don't think you're arguing. It's a masterpiece. It's a beautiful piece of art. I love everything about it. There are absolutely no filler songs. There's no fluff. This is a story created in his brain that is all connected and it's beautiful. And I really hope you go listen to it. It is probably my favorite album of all time, and I'm such a big fan. So I hope you go listen to it. Thank you, Jeff Lynne and Electric Light Orchestra, for giving us this masterpiece. It's just the best. So thank you so much. And of course, I am rating Out of the Blue 10 out of 10. Bye.